The sport's sponsored by the White House Briefing Room podcast with John Decker. Blockbuster trade in the NFL. The Chiefs have traded star corner Trent McDuffie to the Rams. They got back a first-round pick this year, as well as a 5th and 6th this year, and a third-round pick next year. Trent McDuffie is expected to sign a deal worth $30 million per year for the Rams. The Aztecs suffered a tough loss in Boise last night at the hands of the Boise State Broncos at 86-77. They'll be back on Friday night at 7 o'clock, taking on UNLV. Of course, you can hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Join John Decker for 15 minutes of no-spin White House coverage straight from the press briefing room on his new podcast. Subscribe now to the White House Briefing Room on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
And let's get it going on a Wednesday. What's happening, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer will take over then. We got a lot going on, including a 4-pack of tickets to the brand new Elephant Valley, which opens up tomorrow at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, letting you get up close and personal with some of the biggest land animals on the planet. The elephants aren't the only one that are never going to forget. You won't either. That's coming up later in the show today. Coach Quintera is going to be jumping on with us. We may have one more guest sneaking on in the 12 o'clock hour, but we'll talk some Aztecs and what happened last night. We'll talk some Padres and that 5th spot in the starting rotation, and we will talk about the latest blockbuster trade that has rocked the NFL as the Kansas City Chiefs have decided they're going to tank for a great quarterback in next year's draft. Right, Sammy? That's what's happening?
No.
Sammy, are you ready to have a great show?
I'm ready to have a great show.
Are you ready to have a great freaking show?
I'm processing the deal that my Kansas City Chiefs made, trading Trent McDuffie to the Los Angeles Rams, but feeling pretty good about it actually after digesting it for a few hours.
Now I do know this because of knowing you. You're a big Trent McDuffie fan.
Massive.
The Los Angeles Rams are kind of following a script they followed a few years ago when they made a bunch of offseason moves to trade for Matthew Stafford to bring him in to what was already an excellent defense, to what was already a team that was about to be ready to maybe go contend for a Super Bowl, and they made a move just to get them one step above. You look at the NFC next year, the Los Angeles Rams feel like they're in a very similar spot to where they were when they brought in Matthew Stafford. They just needed that one thing to bump them up above. And if you had a weakness on the Rams a year ago, it was probably the secondary on that defense. Trent McDuffie is one of the better cornerbacks in football these days, and they just added to already good defense that has Jared Verse on it. And they added one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL. The Rams appear to be ready for another Super Bowl run. This is very Les Snead. F them picks. This is his whole strategy. And kudos for the Rams for getting better today. Not sure how it works out for the Chiefs, even though they did get a haul in draft picks coming their way. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. I do want to start with the Aztecs here today. And I'll be honest, I don't want to start with the Aztecs, but we will because of what happened last night. Look, the way the night unfolded makes it even worse because with the win last night, the Aztecs would have been right back in position to potentially contend for a Mountain West regular season championship because Utah State also got their ass beat last night. But San Diego State goes on the road to Boise State. And within the first 10, 15 minutes of that game, I think we all kind of saw how it was going to go. Boise State had a strategy. They were going to crash the offensive glass hard. They were going to try to make sure that if San Diego State beat them, San Diego State would have to out-rebound them. And San Diego State got out-rebounded by 20 in that game last night. That was a rough watch for me as someone who's followed this team, watched every second of this team this season. There's some nights where you just don't really recognize them. And that's how I felt last night. I didn't really recognize the Aztecs team that was playing because they were missing something. And I'm not saying they're not trying. I'm not saying they're not going for it. I'm not saying they're not playing with heart. But there was something missing in last night's game. And when you still had stuff on the line, you still had a chance at a Mountain West regular season championship. You still have seeding on the line for the Mountain West tournament, which, by the way, if you look at the cannibalization that's been going on in the Mountain West this year, you want as good a seed as you could possibly have. There's still a lot going on for the Aztecs, and to come out and get out rebounded by 20, not on my bingo card for this year, when that was so clearly going to be Boise State's strategy going into the game. Pretty disappointing effort by the Aztecs last night. They got one more chance to kind of try to get things back on track against UNLV on Friday night at Viejas Arena, and hopefully they do. But you're guaranteed a first-round bye in the Mountain West tournament right now, but that's about it. And where you're going to be at right now, I think they'd be the 3 seed. it's a tough road in just the Mountain West tournament, which you'll certainly need to win at this point to get into the NCAA tournament, which is the goal of this team each and every year.
They played like they knew they didn't have a chance in at-large bid.
Yeah, but they still did, which is crazy.
I mean, not really. With TCU started the night, they got the win over Texas Tech. The chances of them, even if they had beaten Boise State, if they beat UNLV, those aren't season-defining wins.
Sure. The crack was tiny in the window, but you still had an opportunity at a couple of quad ones between now and the Saturday of the March or the Mountain West tournament. You could have had 2 more quad ones under your belt.
I mean, it comes down to they had 37 rebounds at home and the Aztecs had 15. I mean, we were talking about a little bit before the show. Rebounding is a hard thing. And I'm not saying, again, that they weren't trying or they didn't care about winning. But if they thought they were going to get out rebounded by 22 and win on the road, the fact that they even made a run there in the second half is kind of remarkable because they got no second chance opportunities. Boise State was destroying them on the glass. I think you got to put the loss squarely on the shoulders of the front court. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's just, where was Mugunga, Miles Heide, Farrell Compton? There wasn't a lot of this team is built on guards. This team is built on wings. And if you're not getting them second chance opportunities, you just look at it and you're like, kind of, why are they out there? It'd honestly be better to go with a small ball lineup. It just felt like the Aztecs knew they were out of an at-large bid. They looked the same as they had when they played Colorado State, and they feel like they came out flat there after having that brutal loss at home to Grand Canyon. We know what this team can be. I mean, you saw them play with energy and heart and fight against Utah State, and they kicked their ass. And I think even on Saturday against New Mexico, even though they lost that game, they played with a lot of heart in that game. And it looked like it was a great basketball game.
It was a great basketball game,
and it came down to them not hitting free throws. And again, we're talking about little things. Rebounding last night, free throws on Saturday. It just feels like some of the fringe things that we don't talk about enough, free throws, rebounding, passing the ball. It's not clicking right now, and they have a very short time to fix it. We'll see. This team absolutely has the talent to go win 3 straight games. I mean, if you look at on paper, they're one of the most talented teams in the Mountain West. It's hard to see it right now when it's so differing night to night what Aztecs team you're going to get. I could see them running through the tournament next week, and I could also see them losing in the first round. They feel like a complete wild card.
Yeah, so as of right now, San Diego State would be the 3 seed in the Mountain West tournament. And as of right now, that would mean, and again, New Mexico plays tonight, so things could get shaken up a little bit here. But as of right now, that means their first game would most likely be against Nevada if Nevada beats San Jose. Their second game is between either New Mexico or Boise State. Those are the last 2 teams they've played against, and neither of those games went well. And San Diego State has a problem with Buchanan for Boise State, who had 17 points again last night after dominating the first time these 2 teams played. And San Diego State has a problem with Bullion, who both times they've played against New Mexico, he's played excellent. So there was a few things in Boise State's favor going into last night. Absolutely. First sellout of the season at Extra Mile. It was their senior night. They have been thinking about that triple overtime loss since that triple overtime loss happened against San Diego State. So there were a few parts of the script that would have leaned you towards Boise State at the beginning, but the difference in the game, 21 second chance points for Boise State, 3 second chance points for San Diego State.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
And you lose by 9, right? They lost by 9.
Right. That's what's
so
crazy.
21-3 on second chance points, which is that's an effort stat, man. And 21 points to 3 points, that's an 18-point difference. You lose by 9.
And then go to Saturday. They lose by 5. They miss 9 free throws. I mean, it's little things that they're not doing right now. And I don't know if it's the lineups. It feels so in flux, and it's a team with a lot of talent on it. They're just not coming together. The only game that you feel like they put 40 minutes of really solid play together was against Utah State a week ago. But unfortunately for the Aztecs, the Mountain West Conference tournament is not at Viejas Arena. And as much as we would like that to be, because the Aztecs,
it's at the home away from home, baby.
Which
Thomas
is true.
Mack. San Diego State plays great there.
They play great there, and they travel well. But again, it's 3 straight days. I don't mean to just kind of be wishy-washy. I could see them running through the tournament. I could see them. They have the talent.
Right, but it's a crapshoot. Look at what the Mountain West is this year. This is the first time in Mountain West history the conference champion, the regular season champion, is going to have more than 5 losses, or at least 5 losses. First time ever. That's the cannibalization of the Mountain West right now. Usually the team that wins the Mountain West regular season championship doesn't have a regular season home loss. Mm-hmm. Everybody has multiple regular season home losses this year.
It's a lot. We compared it last week. It's a lot like the Pac-12 used to be in football. You had Oregon, who was kind of equating to San Diego State. They would be the one team that had a shot at a national title picture. They needed your USCs, your UCLAs, Arizona States, Arizonas, teams that USC obviously used to be on the national picture, but for years has not been competing in the college football playoff. And they would all eat each other alive. And it feels like that's what's happening this year. Again, the one beautiful thing about college basketball is you do get a tournament to save your life.
Yeah, you get hot for 3 games.
And that's, again, perfectly reasonable for the team, but it's hard with the way that they've played, especially on the road this season, the last few weeks, to instill a lot of confidence that you're going to magically flip the switch and win 3 straight games. Even though the Aztecs fans travel really well there, we all travel well, it is still away from Viejas Arena.
It's going to be tough, but Friday night, senior night at Viejas Arena. So go Aztecs.com for tickets. We gave away a bunch last week. We'll be there. I'm excited for it, man. I'm still excited for what this team can do, but we're going to have to see it here in a hurry. All right, let's get to the big 3 here of our number 1. Sammy, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? I mean, coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
YouTube open at San Diego Sports 760. Text line open as well, although I have yet to pull it up. 70470. Start your message with team. We'll get that pulled up and fired up for the next segment.
We got a bunch of texts rolling in. We're going to read them all in the next segment.
Shammy, where are we going?
Okay, we're going to get into McDuffie from the Chiefs to the Rams in the next segment.
Oh, yeah. How could we go much longer without talking Chiefs? Oh, my God.
I'm excited. Text line's already fired up, talking some mess. I'm very excited about where this leaves us. But
Tank for Arch.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that next segment. Let's start with a little college basketball. AJ DeBansta, possible number 1 overall pick, likely going number 2 behind Darren Peterson, said last night, plays for the BYU Cougars, said, I might not leave BYU. And kind of shocked a lot of people because usually when guys are assured top 2 draft picks, maybe number 1 overall pick, you thought you would just leave for the league. Should DeBansta stay in college and come back and try to be the number 1 pick next year, or go out this year and be in a surefire number 2 pick?
This is a side effect. Now, BYU always kind of operates on a different set of rules than the rest of the country because of the religious impacts, because of the family ties, because of wanting people to get college degrees, which is totally fair. BYU does operate in a different set of rules, but this is the impact of NIL. BYU also has incredible funding. So if he wants to go back, and why not spend another year at college at the team that means more to your family, to your culture, than any professional team, this actually makes a lot of sense coming from BYU.
This is about the fact that this year, the draft class is loaded.
Yeah.
Peterson, Boozer, DeBansta, Caleb Wilson. You got Acuff from Arizona, or not Arizona, Arkansas. There's a lot of talent. If you're an NBA team and you're picking the top 5 this year, you're likely walking away with a potential superstar. Again, not all of them are going to pan out, but you're walking away with some big time talent. The next couple of years, it's not necessarily the same. Scouts are not saying that you have the pipeline in college basketball of NBA ready players in the next 2 seasons. So it makes this draft so valuable. So I guess if you are DeBansta and you're like, I'm a number 2 pick, probably, maybe number 3 if Boozer jumps him. Peterson, even though he's averaging less points per game than him, does look like the best NBA player of all of them. Maybe you come back and you're a surefire number 1 pick next year, but I find it pretty hard to believe that he's going to pass up all that guaranteed money. And it really all comes down to who ends up in the draft lottery where. Because if you have a situation like last year where the Mavericks and Spurs are picking 1 and 2, trust me, DeBansta's coming out. Not that those teams are the Spurs aren't picking the lottery again, but if you have a team that happens to get a much better pick than their record, he's coming out.
Who next?
All right. Kevin Durant is on parody in the NBA. Said, quote, it's a fun time to be in the league. How many teams are in your championship bubble? Meaning teams that can win the championship.
It does feel like there's 5 or 6. Now, I don't hold OKC at the same level I used to hold them. But the Eastern Conference, I think, has impressed a little more than we thought it would coming into this year. All the conversation was about how the West was going to be the more dominant side. What's been more entertaining this year than the Pistons and the Knicks and the Celtics without Tatum? Like, it's been a fun year in the Eastern Conference for the NBA. So I think that number does have to be bumped up a little bit. Now, can any of the teams in the East compete if it's an OKC at the end in the West? Like, that's probably the question you have to ask yourself. But my window's got to be open to 5 or 6 teams at this point. Isn't yours?
Yeah, I think it's 6, 7, 8. 8 is a stretch. I think if we're reading them off,
my cutoff is the Celtics, and that's if they get Tatum back.
Yeah, the Celtics could go to one of the favorites if Tatum is back. If I'm naming them off, Oklahoma City, obviously, San Antonio in the West. Denver has not been playing good basketball, but if they're healthy, I think they've been there before. They could give some teams some problems. Then you have your Minnesota's, Lakers, Houston. I'm taking them all out right now. They're kind of that next tier of maybe they could get hot if it's the right matchup, but certainly there's 3 in the West. In the Eastern Conference, I think Detroit could win it all. I think New York could win it all. I think Cleveland could win it all. I think Boston could win it all. And then even like a Sixers is right below that. I know they got blown out last night, but no Joel Embiid. It is going to be a fun NBA playoffs because although we kind of anointed the Oklahoma City Thunder as this far and away dynasty that was going to rip off 5 straight, I don't know that's necessarily the case. And I keep going back to the Nuggets took them to 7 games last year. The Pacers took them to 7 games in the NBA Finals. Halliburton rips his Achilles. I don't think they're that much better than everyone else, as a lot of people have given them credit for, which is going to make for a fun NBA postseason. All right, the Cowboys have cleared. Actually, we're going to save that. Kyler Murray got cut yesterday from the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, I think they have to wait officially until next week to actually cut him, but right. He's going to be cut.
He's going to be cut. There's a report he has his eye on 2 teams. He did not name those teams, but Kyler Murray has his eye on potentially going to 2 different spots in the NFL. Who do you think the 2 teams are? And where should the 2 teams he's looking for be?
All right, well, one of them, 1,100,000,000% is the Vikings because he's seen what Kevin O'Connell has done for Sam Darnold. And he wants to make sure the next place he goes is setting him up for the next contract he gets. One of them, without a doubt in my mind, and I actually do think he ends up, is with the Minnesota Vikings. The other one is curious. Like, I don't know about Kyler Murray's kind of history book of the NFL and what he wants. But like the Steelers, historic organization, obvious hole at quarterback. If you do go there and you play well, your job is safe for a long time with Pittsburgh. They're a very patient fan base for some reason. But Miami makes too much sense, doesn't it, for Kyler to go be a party animal for 2 years? So I'm going to say most likely Miami, Minnesota.
Okay, I'm going to go. I think Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers told us a lot. He was on the Pat McAfee show earlier today and said he hasn't made a decision on his future. Look, I get it. You have the whole Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers reunion, but
what's that?
Right. He's 42 years old. The Steelers are not winning a Super Bowl this year. They don't have the roster to do that. We saw how far this roster took them last year, and that was to getting blown out by Houston on your home field. Kyler Murray there with Mike McCarthy. So what you were saying about they're patient with their quarterbacks, I think Kyler has a little bit of a runway there, and he's also not going to a team that's awful, that's probably picking at the top of the draft next year, so he gets replaced.
Because don't you think the Vikings sets himself up the best for the future? And you get a year with Justin Jefferson. Who knows what Jordan Addison's going to be doing?
I just don't know if they're going to do that to McCarthy. Because
I think they already made that decision. I think they're okay with doing that to McCarthy.
But if
someone was on calling today, I don't remember who it was, but he said, yeah, the Vikings want to bring in a veteran quarterback to have a competition with McCarthy, understanding that the veteran quarterback probably wins that competition.
Well, if that's the case, the Vikings make no sense.
They already fired the guy responsible for drafting.
It's like
McCarthy.
You got rid of Darnold. You got rid of Kirk Cousins.
They fired the guy that did all of that.
Right, which is fine, but I mean, the one thing, if you took McCarthy that high, still, we've seen quarterbacks have big second years. Look at Caleb Williams. People thought he was a bust. Now he's a top tier quarterback in the NFL. You got to give McCarthy some looks there.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Elephant Valley tickets coming up very, very soon. We'll read these texts. We got a million of them on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer will take over then. And then tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, it is the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show. Lots to talk about tomorrow night with the coach, John Schaefer, Brian Dutcher. We'll read your text. We'll answer your text tomorrow night ahead of the senior game versus UNLV and more. Brian Dutcher Coaches Show tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. All right, we have a million texts in. Some actually came in before we even got on the air today. 619. Chiefs got fleeced. They know the division is out of reach for the foreseeable future.
That's from our resident Broncos fan.
858. We got to ban Sammy from making college picks. I'm telling you, betting on the worst teams to lose each night in the NBA is the move. Last night cashed out easy peasy. We have a rough night on long shots. I haven't looked.
We did have a rough night on long shots. In my defense, I didn't know Bill Self was going to get thrown out of the game.
Dude, that was kind of crazy. Did you see who were they playing last night?
Arizona State.
Arizona State. Did you see whoever is operating the fog machine at Arizona State as he was walking off the court hit the pyrotechnics?
That was a crazy game because Bill Self gets ejected. Darren Peterson gets a technical foul for nothing, and then call one on Marco Jackson later. Listen, things are not going in KU's favor. Raptors got blown out. Nebraska did not come through at Pauley Pavilion. Rough night gambling, but we're going to steer it back into calmer waters at 12:50 today.
858, pathetic free throw shooting and terrible rebounding from the Aztecs. 913, Reese Dixon Waters as a senior played his ass off. Going to be hard seeing Friday, his last game for him. Reese had a nice night, actually, offensively for San Diego State. Just a disappointing night. 760, 15 rebounds for an entire game is an absolute embarrassment. No way Guath is back here, even if he doesn't go to the NBA. 619.
He's going to have to come back if he wants to go to the NBA.
For a team that was without rebounding, why did Compton play so little the last two games? I don't know. I don't know if Compton's dealing with something. 858, hey guys, I'm an Aztec alum. I'm just so disenchanted with this team. Rebounding was a problem yesterday, but this program has always struggled with rebounding, even with high defensive rankings in past years. They have, and they've gone like long stretches, but second chance points has never been as big of an issue.
The problem is they've targeted players who are offensive bigs.
Yeah.
Magoon Guath is an offensive big. He's not a traditional big that's going to sit there and rebound. And it's kind of come back to bite the Aztecs here in the last couple of weeks. 913 says, Sammy, don't you worry. Chiefs going to dominate. I told you it's Chiefs Cowboys Super Bowl.
I'll take that.
I'm with that. 858, Sammy, for next week's edition of Long Shots, could you please pick the other team's money line for every team that San Diego State faces in the Mountain West Conference tournament? Sorry, but the truth hurts. I'm afraid. Thanks. Am I the reverse jinx?
You are the reverse jinx. And another texter asking if I got on the Peloton after that Aztec loss. Absolutely not. I ate some ice cream and went to bed. That's what I did last night after that Aztecs loss. And I don't feel bad about that at all.
Ice cream and going to bed?
Yeah.
Not supposed to eat and then go to sleep.
I do pretty much every night, Sammy. It's all right. I feel great. Confident. All right, we'll talk some Chiefs here, and we'll continue the conversation on the other side because there's some other news in the NFL. Cowboys are doing some stuff to get under the salary cap. Maybe they have a big move on the horizon. Maybe Max Crosby. I don't know. But the Kansas City Chiefs, they move on from Trent McDuffie. Now, Sammy is a Chiefs homer. Sammy thinks the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I don't know if I see it, if I'm being honest. I do think this wasn't just a move for this upcoming season. This is a move for the future. Now, it's true. The Chiefs have draft picks for the first time in a long time here in the first round. They got multiple of them this year. They can make a big difference. But taking away from a defense that last year was pretty rough to watch at times doesn't seem like the move that I would be making right now if I was the Kansas City Chiefs.
But if the defense wasn't good last year, paying one of the players on a cap-stricken team just all the money in the world to not get better on the edges is a mistake.
But what does this actually do for the Chiefs? It clears up, what, $14 million in cap space?
13, and they got a bunch of draft picks. Listen, on the Rams side...
McDuffie's fantastic. You love Trent McDuffie.
Right. For the Rams, this makes all the sense in the world. The Rams needed a single-star shutdown corner. It came back to bite them in the NFC Championship game against the Seahawks. JSN was running wild on them. And Emmanuel Forbes and Kobe Durant are solid corners, but they're not number ones. Trent McDuffie is a bona fide superstar. He was great for the Chiefs in all the season he's played with them. And the best thing about him is he can go outside. He's even a better slot corner than he is as an outside corner. So I think if you're a Rams fan, they still might take Mansour or the corner from LSU at that 11th pick. So I get why they did it. I mean, they've made one. Les Snead has made one first-round draft pick in each of his last 7 drafts, and that was Jared Verse. The whole mindset of we don't deal with picks and we go out and spot fill gaps. I get it because Matthew Stafford is getting up there in age. This team is probably assuming they're not going to be good for years after Stafford retires, and going to get a star corner probably puts the Rams the favorites to win a Super Bowl. On the Chiefs side of things, the Chiefs had to do this. I mean, they were in cap hell. They just cut Jawan Taylor, cut Mike Dana, cut a lot of players. And what we've seen when the Chiefs have had bad years, when the Chiefs have run it back with the same group of players, because you need rookies and guys who haven't won Super Bowls and haven't been a part of the dynasty run to kind of bring that hunger to the team. And although Trent McDuffie is a bona fide star, this team has a lot of holes. Running back's a hole. Right tackle's a hole. Tight end, you need someone to see Kelsey. Safety, pass rusher. There are a lot of holes on this team. And paying Trent McDuffie about $30 million per year probably wasn't in the cards to actually make the team better. And now the Chiefs have a lot of draft capital.
Because sometimes you just got to tank for a couple years to hit the reset. And maybe the next iteration of the Chiefs after next season will be much better with Patrick Mahomes.
I want to remind everyone the last time the Chiefs traded away a superstar and everyone said it was done, they ended up winning 2 Super Bowls the next 2 years and going to 3 straight. So
858 says, Sammy, it's a shame that the Chiefs are in rebuild mode. Go Birds.
Everyone can have their fun today, but just wait for draft night. And this team is building ahead of free agency. I'm very excited.
What number do you think Arch Manning will wear on the Kansas City Chiefs?
If you're making Arch Manning jokes, I'd be careful about if Brock Purdy's getting replaced after next year and you guys are taking Arch Manning.
I did see a video the other night of Mac Jones at like a house party with George Kittle and a bunch of guys just hammered off his ass, throwing pieces of ice at a gong.
Does it frustrate you that you can't get rid of Trent McDuffie because he locked up Debo in the Super Bowl and now he's with the Rams and gets to play in your division?
It's infuriating. I do think the Rams are the best team in the NFL after this trade. I think they had one weakness, and it was the secondary last year, and that is now done. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. Elephant Valley tickets on the other side. Plus, Cowboys are making some moves. There's something big on the horizon. We'll get into it on the other side at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport's sponsored by Odoo.com. All your business apps in one place. Massive trade out of the NFL. Trent McDuffie, all-pro corner for the Kansas City Chiefs, traded to the Los Angeles Rams today for a first, a fifth, a sixth in this year's draft, as well as a third in next year's draft. McDuffie's expected to sign a deal with an average annual value of about $30 million per year. And breaking news out of the NFL as well, per NFL Network, the Pats have informed Stephon Diggs they intend to move on from him after one season. He will be cut here in a week. Your business deserves tools to make you feel in control, not overwhelmed. With Odoo's all-in-one, easy-to-use platform, everything is together so you can focus on what matters. Start at Odoo.com today. That's Odoo.com.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. We'll give away those Safari Park tickets coming up here in about 7 or 8 minutes. So stay tuned here on San Diego Sports 760. YouTube chat real quick.
Lori.
Rich jumping in saying good to see Joe Musgrove back. Struck out Jazz Chisholm. Yeah, I got the Padres Great Britain game going on my second screen here in studio. Musgrove did strike out Jazz Chisholm. They gave up 3 hits in a row and left with just 1 out in the first inning. So Joe Musgrove, I think he threw 27, 26 pitches somewhere in there. Looked fine, I guess. I don't know.
People got to have expectations with him because he's not going to.
It's spring training.
Well, yeah. And even when the season starts, people are going to be expecting the old Joe Musgrove, and hopefully he can work up to that as the season goes on. But I'm expecting him to not go more than 3 innings the first month or two of him starting.
Well, today he went 1 out. So it's baby steps, right? It's 1 out today, maybe 2 outs the next time he pitches, and then we'll get to 3 innings eventually with Joe Musgrove. But obviously hoping the best for him this year. One of the great Padres. Lori on YouTube says, sorry, Sammy, it's the Rams' turn to win the Super Bowl next, and then maybe your Chiefs will be back. Maybe, I don't know. Patrick Mahomes, that guy might be done.
Lori, our resident Rams fan, the Rams are nasty. I mean, you look at the Seahawks right now are the betting favorites, and I mean, makes sense. Obviously, just won the Super Bowl, but the Rams probably should be the betting favorite.
I think so. I think that might change after today. Honestly, I think they patched their biggest hole,
and they still have that 11th pick. Probably going receiver, maybe Mekhi Lemon out of USC, Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. I mean, that team is absolutely stacked. As long as Stafford's staying healthy, they should be a big threat in the NFC. And
it's the funniest part about today. Everyone's saying, oh, Les Snead, back to the F them picks mentality. They have the Falcons first pick this year. They have, is it the 11th?
Yeah.
11th overall pick this year. The Rams are going to be just fine, man.
Well, I think they're also seeing that the Bears are coming up. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and the Commanders. There's an influx of young quarterbacks in the NFC. Sam Darnold with the Seahawks. So if you're the Rams, might as well just go all in. Trade away. It's a big haul going back to the Chiefs, but you get an all-pro superstar corner now with Jared Verse, that front 7, Landman at linebacker. I mean, this team is stacked. So why not go all in with Stafford at age 37 to really go try to win something versus trying to save picks for the future?
All right. And then you just mentioned, Sammy, Stephon Diggs has been cut by the Patriots after 1 year with him. Remember, he signed that 3-year deal. And by doing this, they're saving some money, but not a ton of money. So they're saving $16.8 million against the 2026 salary cap. This saves them about $10 million here in a dead cap hit. So for the
great move by the Patriots.
I think so too. For the New England Patriots, this is pretty obvious to me what they're doing. This is so they can clear up some room in the wide receiver room for AJ Brown.
Did you see though what the Eagles want back for AJ Brown?
No, what did they put out?
They want, per reports, like almost a Micah Parsons, Quinnen Williams type deal. They want a first round pick in multiple day 2 selections. And at this point, AJ Brown's career,
he's not worth that. But I bet you what they're trying to do is to either get AJ Brown back in line. They're basically saying no team is going to come after him at this price. So this is what we're going to put out there. And if you can get close to it, maybe we'll think about sending him. But they're trying to see if AJ Brown's going to force their hand by holding out and not playing at the start of next season and pulling a full NBA move.
If you're the Eagles,
and if you're the Eagle, why not put out an absurd asking price?
Well, and I would move him because even though AJ Brown's super talented, he doesn't fit with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback, but it's more about the system. It's playing ahead of the chains. He is not even though he can throw the deep ball, that's not the focal point of the offense. And that's really when A.J. Brown's at his best, when he's catching deep balls. That's when he was great. Tannehill, to his credit in Tennessee, would put it up for A.J. Brown a lot. With a rookie offensive coordinator, a guy who's never done this before, you couldn't control last year. A.J. Brown, that the media narrative around the Eagles offense was getting out of hand last year. Nick Sirianni, now a year removed from winning a Super Bowl. A lot of questions about him losing to the Niners in the postseason. And now a rookie offensive coordinator. The last thing that I want to do if I'm the Philadelphia Eagles is be dealing with A.J. Brown, which is a massive headache for the entire season.
Now, the Dallas Cowboys have made some moves here today, too. So the start of the league year is coming up next week. I think it's the 13th. And so teams are doing what they can to get under the salary cap to avoid some penalties and to get under the salary cap to see what they can do come draft time in terms of trade. Now, the Dallas Cowboys have restructured both CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott's contract to get them back under the salary cap and now have a little bit of flexibility if they want to go out and add a piece. So we've heard Max Crosby lightly attached to the Dallas Cowboys. We've heard him more so as of today, actually attached to the Chicago Bears, who just had a retirement, which actually helps them out with their salary
Drew
cap.
Dalman, the center.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, there's a couple teams interested in Max Crosby. Meanwhile, the Raiders have still held firm that they're keeping Max Crosby, but too much smoke for there not to be a fire at this point. I do think he ends up on a different team. I'm just curious if the Cowboys are doing enough here to bring him over, and will they have to trade everything, all the goodwill that was built up with the Micah Parsons trade just to bring over Max Crosby, who is older than Micah Parsons and who may, 2-3 years left at this ability for Max Crosby? Max?
Well, he's 28. He's probably 3, 4, maybe 5 years of high-level play. Pass rushers can go in their mid-30s, but
wildly expensive.
And I thought, this is why I praise Jerry Jones. You got rid of the star hunting, and Quinnen Williams is a very good player, but you were able to keep one of the first round picks from Micah Parsons. How about this draft? Instead of trading everything away for one player, Max Crosby, I don't know if that necessarily makes you a Super Bowl favorite. Throw everything at the draft. Get pass rushers, corners, everything. Trayvon Diggs isn't there anymore. Max Crosby would really help the team. But I think getting younger, because you do have big contracts with CD and Dak and even Quinnen Williams, rather than trading just one superstar pass rusher for another. If I'm the Raiders, though, and I know Raider fans in Texas, if you're a Raider fan, 70470, start your message with team.
By the way, Raiders insider Vinny Bonsignore will be on the show tomorrow.
Beautiful. I mean, trading Max Crosby, I know he's a beloved, historic player with the franchise. They're in a weird spot because they're going to get Mendoza. They're going to have an exciting offense with Mendoza, Jency, and Bowers, but you're still finishing fourth in that division. With the Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos, the chances of you not being in the bottom of that division are slim to none. Trading Max Crosby, kind of acknowledging that you're going for the future, takes a little bit of pressure off Mendoza from having to win now, because Max Crosby is not in the business of winning later. He wants to win now. He's already paid his time with the Raiders. I think trading Max Crosby, getting a boatload of picks, the Raiders could actually rebuild this thing versus just trying to keep him because he sells tickets and he is a great player. I'd be looking to the Cowboys, the Bears, whoever's got the highest offer to get rid of Max Crosby and restart the rebuild.
Text line taking more shots at Sammy now. 858 says, with Stephon Diggs off the field antics, he'd be a perfect pick for the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, we don't need more guys who don't catch the ball in big moments.
Bright side from the 760. Bright side is that Diggs is going to have some more time to spend with Cardi B now.
No, Cardi was going off on him at her concert.
They have an odd relationship, man. It seems like they hate each other and love each other at the same time. Meanwhile, Stephon Diggs, I believe, had 5 children within the last calendar year with 5 different ladies. So congratulations.
Well, remember the Valentine's Day story?
Congratulations to Diggs. Yeah, on Cardi B's boat with like 10 different ladies.
No, when he had, I don't know if it's sourced, so maybe I shouldn't say it on the radio.
There was a picture of him with a pink substance on Cardi B's boat with not Cardi B and like 10 other ladies. So good for Stephon.
Remember when Stephon Diggs
with the Chiefs
with Minnesota? Remember when he they played that game? Who on the team would you least like to date your sister?
Everyone said Stephon Diggs.
And then they asked Stephon Diggs. He's like, CJ Ham. He goes, why? Because he's ugly.
He's entertaining. Give him credit for that. And he is responsible for one of the coolest plays I've ever seen in an NFL game, the Miracle in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Miracle. But Stephon Diggs, I didn't see much from him last year in New England. I don't know if anyone else did. But now him becoming a free agent essentially after next week, will be helpful for some team, I would imagine. So maybe he does end up with the Chiefs, who are wide receiver needy. Maybe he can play cornerback for the Chiefs.
Have your fun.
All of a sudden, don't have a secondary anymore.
Have your fun.
Wow, what a great idea! All right,
There's a reason why the
Sports
Chiefs Super
760.
Bowl odds haven't dropped.
What did what was the total on long shots last night?
I don't think we need to worry about the past. I think we need to worry about the present.
I like it. Faith and Sammy, long shots coming up next. But right now, your opportunity to win a 4-pack of tickets to go see the brand new Elephant Valley exhibit at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, which opens up tomorrow. You can get up close and personal and roam alongside the world's largest land animals all week. We got chances for you to win a family 4-pack of tickets to go see Elephant Valley. The elephants aren't the only ones who will never forget Elephant Valley at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, opening up tomorrow. Call right now, 877-767-4760. Caller number 8. You're going to go to the Elephant Valley, brand new at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Call 877-767-4760. You're listening to San Diego Sports 760.
What is going on?
I don't know, man. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Congratulations to Elizabeth, who won those Elephant Valley tickets for the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Rich Ornberger and Travis Dale both were able to go out there yesterday, and apparently there is a story circulating around the Safari Park employees that Rich tried to steal elephant food and eat it himself. Not kidding. True story. I guess they eat like nuggets.
What, like chicken nuggets?
Not chicken nuggets, like a bunch of ground wheat and stuff all into one thing.
First off, how they don't just keep that out. So Rich is like roaming around.
He had a behind the scenes tour yesterday where he got to see some stuff that maybe not everybody would be able to see. And apparently he grabbed a handful of the nuggets and was about to eat one, and they stopped him and said not for human consumption. And now that story has spread through the entire staff. But
wow,
I have heard the reviews on this place that it's incredible. It's amazing. There's a spot where you could have a beer 10 feet away from some of the elephants. Supposed to be incredible. So go check it out. Congratulations to Elizabeth, who just won that 4-pack of tickets. It opens up tomorrow. All right, Sammy, let's get to long shots today. We had a rough night last night. We're not talking about it. I haven't even opened my app. I haven't even looked at what you went for last night. We're not even going to say.
We're not even going to mention
what you went for last night. But I would like to get a winner here tonight. So, Sammy, go ahead. Smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money and you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Say that man his man.
with long shots.
I don't know if this is helpful or not, Sammy, but we do have a text here from the 858 that says, I'm running a 4-leg, 2-day parlay for the NBA's worst teams in today's and Thursday's games. I usually try to pick them on the road, so for this ticket, I'm going against is the Pacers, Jazz, Nets, and Mavericks, all losing on the road to competitive teams with 32-plus wins. Mix and match that with money line and spreads at your own discretion, but I'm winning over 80% of my tickets since January when I started this method. Good for you, 858.
Shout out to the 858.
See, are you taking some notes?
People complain about tanking the NBA. Gamblers make a lot of money on teams that are tanking in the association.
So why aren't we?
I have my own method.
Well, what does Sammy's method have for us today, everybody? Did you already play the open for long shots? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What do we got?
Are you're coughing? Is your headsets turned on? What's going on?
It's been a weird day.
Did everyone hear Ben just having a heart attack going to break?
So I'm not even kidding. I maybe slept 45 minutes last night total.
That's concerning.
Which wasn't great.
Was it that ice cream before bed?
No, I don't think it was, honestly. That might have had something to do with it. But 10 different times last night, I woke up thinking I was about to throw up. And I never actually did.
What?
But I thought I was about to.
Well, I'm so glad that I was in the same studio as you today. I'm sure I'm getting whatever you have.
No, I never actually did. I just thought I was going to for some reason. And then I would go and see if anything happened. Nothing happened. Came back to bed, would fall asleep. 20 minutes later, same thing. So I didn't sleep a lick last night. So I've overcompensated by chugging 2 yerba mates today, which is making my brain go all funny. And yeah, it's not going well.
These people are here to hear about gambling.
Well, let's get to it, man. Maybe make a
3-leg NBA parlay. I feel very good about this tonight.
Yeah, thank God there's no college basketball in here.
There is college basketball. I thought about throwing in a college pick. By the way, people doubting my college picks, I also call Michigan State money line, Kansas against Arizona, so everyone can calm down. I'm going to make everyone in San Diego money today, and everyone's going to be, oh, thank you, Sammy. I'm so grateful tomorrow morning.
Can't wait. Let's hear it.
Okay, Thunder, Knicks. Thunder, Oklahoma City, 4.5-point road favorites in the Garden. Fun matchup tonight. Really fun matchup. Knicks have been playing some damn good basketball recently. I mean, they took apart the Raptors last night. A couple weeks ago, the 18-point comeback against Houston last weekend had a big matchup for the Knicks. The Thunder, though, the return of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Give me OKC on the spread tonight, -4.5. I think Shai, people forgetting about him a little bit. Not they're forgetting about him, but they're kind of doing the Dodger thing. Oklahoma City is kind of putting these guys on ice. AJ Mitchell, Jalen Williams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. All of a sudden, they got a hammy pulled. They can't play for a couple weeks because Oklahoma City has bigger goals than the regular season. There was some talk early on in the year about if they could break the Golden State record for best regular season win total. That didn't happen. And so I think it's kind of it's a little bit of a marathon to get to the playoffs here. But tonight, Shai back in the Garden. This is a big game. The Knicks do play an elite brand of defense, but the way that the Thunder play, getting out in space. They're going to be able to pull Karl Anthony Towns out of the paint because Chet Holmgren is not a traditional kind of big. I think this is a field day for Oklahoma City. People are getting really excited in New York about the Knicks, as they should. Not tonight, though. Oklahoma City covering the spread, 4.5. Give me the Thunder to put on a show in the Garden. All right, we're going to head in the same region. Hornets, Celtics. Celtics have been a really good basketball team this year, and the only guy who's not playing tonight for them is Jason Tatum, who's been out for the whole season, getting some work in with the G League here. He could be coming back soon. Hornets plus 6.5. The Hornets are on a 5-game win streak. People are not paying attention because of the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets are making a little bit of a run here in the Eastern Conference into the play-in. And honestly, if I'm Detroit, if I'm Boston, if I'm New York, if I'm one of these teams at the top and I get to play the Hornets in the first round, I'm not too thrilled about that. The Hornets have LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges. The addition of Kobe White at the deadline from the Bulls has given them an elite starting five. Musa Diabate. There's a lot of talent on this team that is only going to get better and better. LaMelo Ball plays big in big moments. Celtics have been playing good basketball recently, but the Hornets have the type of team with the amount of athletic guards and wings they have to take advantage of this Celtics defense. I actually think give me the Hornets on the spread tonight, plus 6.5. They could pull the outright upset, but plus 6.5. Give us the points in the Garden. Hornets going to make a statement win tonight to prove that they're legit in the Eastern Conference. And then we're going to head back to the...
Sammy, you know how much I love and trust and respect you. You know all these things. You have just taken 2 road teams.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, Oklahoma City and the Hornets. Yeah.
Both on the road?
On the spread.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't give out picks that I don't believe.
I'm just saying.
I'm not just telling people. See, people already liking the OKC pick. All right, final pick. Here's your home team, Ben. Clippers, Pacers. Clippers, 12.5-point favorites. Big number. Lay it tonight. Benedict Mathurin playing against his former team. He is going to dog walk them by 30. The Indiana Pacers have a lot of guys out tonight. Ivica Zubac, who they got back in that deal from the Clippers at the deadline, will not be playing. Aaron Nesmith's a game-time decision. Siakam's dealing with a little bit of a wrist injury. He's also a game-time decision. Obi Toppin and Andrew Nembhard are all game-time decisions. The Clippers are mostly healthy outside of John Collins. I think this is a big win for the Clippers tonight. Kawhi, Benedict Mathurin, Kobe Saunders, a nice young guard who's kind of elevating for the Clippers. I think they absolutely beat the crap out of Indiana tonight live at the Intuit Dome. So,
hell yeah.
Clippers minus 12.5 on the spread. Give me Oklahoma City minus 4.5 and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's return to beat up on the Knicks at the Garden. And I like the underdog here, plus 6.5. Charlotte Hornets going into the Garden to take care of Boston or at least cover the spread.
I like it. Faith and Sammy. Here we go. We're all going to win some money here tonight. Okay. One thing for hour number 2, and I'm going to need everyone's help on this a little bit. I got some folks coming into town at the very beginning of April. We're looking to play a golf course in San Diego we have not yet played, and I've played a lot of them. So give me your sleeper picks for San Diego golf courses. Hit me up on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. I'll tell you what we already have on the books. We got tee times at Coronado already. We got tee times at La Costa already, which had to pull some strings to get that. But if there's a course,
to pull some strings.
There's a course that I have not played yet in San Diego. What is your sleeper pick? Because I would like to play it. San Diego Sports 760, hour 2 coming up next.
The sport is sponsored by Red Pilled America. NFL news left and right today. Dallas reworked Dak in CeeDee Lamb deals for the Cowboys. They cleared up about $47 million in cap space. The Chiefs have traded star corner Trent McDuffie to the Los Angeles Rams for a combination of 4 NFL draft picks. And as of a few minutes ago, Stephon Diggs has been released by the New England Patriots following his first season with the team. Red Pilled America is a storytelling show for Patriots. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app. That's Red Pilled America.
San Diego Sports 760. It is hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. We'll jump off. John Schaefer will jump on. Coach Quintera coming up in 30 minutes. We'll talk some pods with the coach. Can't wait for that. By the way, text line, YouTube chat, 70470. Start your message with the word team. Looking for a secret golf course, not a secret, but a sleeper golf course in San Diego.
We got a bunch rolling in right now.
Tons of them.
619 Carlton Oaks in Santee.
Played it a million times.
760. It's not technically in San Diego, but Journey at Pechanga is hands down my favorite course in San Diego, worth the drive-in price.
Actually played there too. Very cool golf course.
484
is just making up stuff.
619 San Ysidro Golf Course, 16, 15 holes are technically in Mexico, so bring your passport.
I'm down. 484 saying secret golf spot, just reverse driving range from the parking lot into SeaWorld. That's illegal, 484. We don't do stuff like that. That's very Entourage with them off their back patio.
Remember, the back patio. They're talking about Vince Vaughn.
760, actually 2 spots I have not played. Arrowwood Golf Course in Oceanside. I've heard that's fantastic. And then Goat Hill, which I haven't even heard of. I apologize. Is a short and fun course also in Oceanside. The golf course at Boomers in Claremont. That would be mini golf.
858.
Shout out.
Steven says Balboa Park Golf Course.
Balboa Park is fantastic, man. I've played there 1,000 times since I've moved to San Diego because you get in with the resident ID card, which is nice.
You got to. I told you at the break. You got to play the RBN, man. It's a great course up in.
I actually have not played that course. My dad has. He loved it. He had a great time.
It's a fun course.
Seniors tournament there. But I'm not looking for Torrey. I love Torrey. I'm not looking for Medeiros. I played the big spots here. I'm looking for a sleeper pick for a group of buddies who's coming to town at the beginning of April.
I played Red Hawk, so my uncle started thinking he was good at golf because he had a couple rounds together. So he's like, we're going to play in Temecula Red Hawk. I was like, dude, I'm not good enough to play Red Hawk. Like, I'm more of a grip and rip kind of guy, and let's just have some beers and have some fun because I'm not talented enough at golf to be really counting score. He's like, no, we're going to go. I am not kidding you. I think I lost 2 packs of balls at Red Hawk. That's where like the PGA, they like practice. Hardest course I've ever played in my life. I was like, never again.
Dude, I had a very similar experience. 2 weeks before Farmers Insurance Open, we got to play it at Torrey Pines. And I didn't even not even hitting bad shots. You lose balls because they just go to the rough and they're gone forever.
Yeah, you think I thought I hit some good shots. It's like, oh, that felt good. And then I'm like in bushes, it's
all right. Another pick for Goat Hill on here. I think I got to try it out, man. Rich McGuire, Admiral Baker North Course, true San Diegan Rich. That's the military course in Mission Valley.
Yes, sir.
And it's opposite of Torrey Pines. So Torrey Pines South Course is better than the North Course. Admiral North Course is better than the South Course. Jay Silves, Mission Trails on Lake Murray, played it, loved it, good course. Santee has a great one.
858, the Vineyard at Escondido. That's a great one as well.
I don't think I've played that.
That's a great. I played that course.
The one in Carlsbad that I love is the Crossings, but keep them coming in. I would love this. I need to find one that I have not played yet for this group of guys who's coming in early April. We do this trip every year. It's debauchery. It's terrible. I may miss a Friday show, Sammy. I apologize.
I got it locked down for us,
but it is a fun weekend every time these guys come to town. All right, hour 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. We're going to get to the Padres in just a little bit. So thinking about the starting 5 rotation and who that 4, 5, 6 is going to be for the Padres if they do start the year, which I think they should in a 6-man rotation. We'll take a look in just a little bit on what those would be. But I do want to stick with the NFL for just a second here, because why are we letting them get away with it? The Kansas City Chiefs have 2 first-round picks this year, and it's making me lose my mind. But Sammy, as a Chiefs fan, as a Chiefs stan, as someone who believes wholeheartedly that the Chiefs will be right back to their era of dominance coming up this year after just a speed bump last year.
Oh, just a minor blip on the radar.
2 first-round picks. Where do you want to see them go? What are the biggest needs for this Kansas City Chiefs team?
Well, in all seriousness, the team does have a lot of holes. Running back is a major hole. Right tackle needs to be filled.
Quarterback.
Tight end, they need to find someone to succeed Kelsey. Pass rusher and running back are the two biggest holes. You need a safety, and now you need a corner, although the Chiefs actually have some young corners coming up the pipeline in Christian Fulton and Noah Williams, who really played well down the stretch of the season last year. Look, I said it earlier, Trent McDuffie is going to be a baller for the Rams. I get why the Rams did it. He's a superstar. He can play in and out. He's even better as a slot corner than he is as an outside corner, and he's a damn good outside corner. So hats off to the Rams. But Brett Veach strikes again. I mean, look what he did. He learned from Jerry Jones last year. Is Trent McDuffie Micah Parsons? No, but he's that next tier of star, an impact player. You did it right before free agency on Monday, right before the draft. It's crazy. I was talking to my dad this morning. I literally 20 minutes before it happened, it was a random thing. It's like, if they're going to trade Trent McDuffie, I hope they do it this weekend, because waiting till the summer to try to keep battling on a contract situation, it's not coming to fruition. You end up trading him, and then it gives you picks for next year, but not for this year. The Chiefs are in the middle of a retool, not a rebuild, in my opinion, and they can do that on the fly. Now they have 9 picks in this year's draft. They can really go do some stuff. And Trent McDuffie, hats off to him. Great Kansas City Chief. Going to be great for the Rams. But the Chiefs got to kind of get some influx of young talent here and not just keep paying out big contracts left and right.
It kind of makes me sick to my stomach that the Rams would do this. Although the Rams, I do think, set themselves up in a position to where right now I would have the Rams as my Super Bowl favorite. I think top to bottom, their roster has the least amount of holes on it. And Trent McDuffie is fantastic. It's what the Rams were missing last year. Had they had Trent McDuffie in that NFC Championship game,
they probably win
the Seahawks. I do think they win.
They stick him on JSN the entire game.
Exactly right. And JSN may have been the MVP of that game. So you kind of look at where the Rams struggled. This is a very smart move by Les Snead. Unfortunately, it does strengthen up the Kansas City Chiefs. So maybe not next year, but in the years in the future, when you think about Super Bowls down the line, this is setting up the Chiefs for another window of excellence if they can hit on draft picks. Yes, they got to hit on draft picks. But again, when you take a team, you do want them to go running back first?
No, not necessarily. If Love is there, and I don't want them to trade up. If they have to trade up to get Love to jump the Saints or somebody, I'm out on that. If they get him at 9, you're getting a superstar running back in my estimation. I'm fine with that. But getting Kenneth Walker or Travis Etienne in free agency for $8 million a year and going and get a pass rusher is probably the smarter move for the Chiefs.
For sure. All right, let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. All sorts of teams in the NFL making moves today. I'm sure we'll hear some of that coming up in just a second. Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
615. I don't golf, but I deliver out to Enagic. I don't know that word. Golf club at Eastlake, and they have some hotties working there. So
615.
Good call. By the way, Carlton Oaks is now famous on TikTok because of their bar cart girls who make drinks out on the course. With some TikTok savvy. Yeah, Carlton Oaks is like one of the most followed golf accounts in the world.
619 Welks Resort. I play that. That's a great spot.
Just a 9-hole course, right?
Yeah. That's a warm up.
Nice little warm up. Maybe 2 courses in one day.
By the way, before we get to the big 3, did you see the CBS crew? They asked the CBS golf crew, Jim Nance and everybody, about what defines a good golfer. Like, if you call yourself a good golfer.
What'd they say?
And everyone said you have to shoot perennially in the 80s. If you crack below 90, you're sitting there. You can call yourself a good golfer.
See, okay. That's probably like a 15, 16 handicap. Someone who's, or no, that's better. That's probably a 10 handicap. Someone who's in the 80s all the time. Low 80s. Right. I think if you're between 80 and 86 on a consistent basis, you can call yourself a good golfer.
Because I've had friends who shoot 100 but hit a couple good shots. Like, I'm a good player. I'm like, slow down, buddy.
Yeah, and the people who talk about themselves when they golf, like, I will be very upfront and honest. I love golf. I think it's one of the most fun things you could possibly do with a free weekend. I've been under 90 once in my life. I've been under 100 maybe 3 times in my life. My normal round is probably between 99 and 106. That's where I sit, depending on golf courses. But I'm not a good golfer, but I have a lot of fun golfing. And I think that's the part where golf gets a little stuffy, is people need to understand that it is supposed to be a fun activity. And for the people who are also like, oh, if you don't shoot less than 90, you can't come on my course, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And shut up.
Everyone thinks they're Tiger.
Shut up. Where are we going, Sammy?
Let's head to the NFL. So as we were talking about a little bit earlier, Stephon Diggs released from the New England Patriots. Per Jordan Schultz, the Pats are, quote, all in on a star wide receiver. Alec Pierce among the names that they're prepared to spend
is
big
Alec Pierce
on.
A star wide receiver?
Well, that's my first thing. Alec Pierce
He's a good deep ball threat.
Which could be good with Drake May, because Drake May throws a pretty good deep ball. But let's just say they get a big name receiver, whether that's A.J. Brown. Let's say Alec Pierce is a star. Where do you see New England in the AFC next year? Because they made the Super Bowl, but right now, and I know people are going to come at me for this, I don't have them making the playoffs. When you play the easiest schedule in 30 years and have one of the easiest roads to a Super Bowl.
26 years.
26 years.
Come on. Give them a little credit.
I mean, the Chargers, no offensive line. Houston, their entire offense was hurt, and Bo Nix wasn't playing for Denver. I think the Bills are winning that division. I don't think they make the playoffs next year.
I think there's a shot they miss the playoffs next year. They're on the bubble. I would consider the New England Patriots right now. Now, that's considering Drake May plays the same he did this year, which was really, really good. If he takes a bump, all of a sudden the Patriots are a real problem. That defense was pretty damn good all year long, even through the postseason. Like, there's a reason C.J. Stroud handed the ball off to the Patriots 5 times in that game, it felt like, because the defense is very good for New England, and I think they got a great head coach. I don't know if I'm as down on them as you are, but I don't think that they're a lock for the postseason as of right now. Now, if they get A.J. Brown, and Mike Vrabel's the one coach who seemingly has been able to work with A.J. Brown and get the best out of him, that's a dangerous, scary team because they got an excellent run attack. Travion Henderson's going to be better this year. If you add a wide receiver, give Drake May a little more confidence. Yeah, I think the division around him gets better, but I could see the Patriots getting right back into the postseason.
I just feel like with New England, the best thing they have going for them is they get to play the Jets in Miami 4 times a year. Really, what is the calling card? I guess you could look at it that they didn't have a star receiver and made the Super Bowl. If the Chargers had an offensive line, if Stroud doesn't throw 4 interceptions, if Bo Nix is playing, I know they're all ifs. I don't see that team actually getting there. So we'll see where they're at next year. All right, Sam Amico reports that there is a 99% chance that LeBron will return to the Cavs next year on a mid-level exception. So he's making like $10 million a year. Amico reports for the Cleveland Cavaliers. If LeBron is willing to take a pay cut, should he want to go to Cleveland, stay with the Lakers, or go somewhere else?
I think he needs to get the hell away from the Lakers for both sides' benefit. I think that the Lakers are better off without him. He's better off without the Lakers. A reunion with Cleveland makes too much sense. And I think if LeBron, who I believe is very obsessed with LeBron, wants his proper farewell tour, Cleveland seems like the right spot to do it. Now, knowing LeBron the way we have over the years, does he sound like the type of person who would take a pay cut? That's the biggest question.
Well, that's what's funny is they've talked about him taking a pay cut for the last 3 years now, and it's never happened. Now, the only way I see him coming back to LA is if they pull off the Giannis deal. If they have Giannis, Reeves, and Luka, if you're LeBron and you want to take less money and be a part of the team, that team would be disgusting. I agree with you. I don't think he's coming back to LA. I think he's probably done with the Lakers. The Lakers have signaled they're kind of out of the LeBron business, want to restart this rebuild.
Don't you think he wants his version of Kobe's farewell tour where every team around the league celebrated him?
This is why he's not retiring after this year.
Right. Cleveland makes too much sense.
Cleveland makes too much sense. The one team I would say, though, to watch out for, he's always talked about playing at the Garden. Playing for the Knicks. The Knicks need a number 2. They have a lot of talented players. Jalen Brunson's a star. Towns you can debate. Star. Sometimes plays like a star. But Mitchell Robinson, Mikal Bridges, there's a lot of solid players on that team, but I don't think they have the star power to get over the hump this year. I could see LeBron checking in there for next season.
All right, let's squeeze one more in here, Sammy.
All right, let's head to March Madness. Kind of an interesting twist on it. So the NCAA is requiring during March Madness for them to have availability reports. So for people, it's a big deal for bettors. In college football and basketball, teams are not required to give injury reports for many years now. So a lot of times you turn on the TV and all of a sudden your star wide receiver, star guard is not playing because of a personal reason. They've always claimed privacy issues. The NCAA is making them have waivers come out or reports come out about who will be playing and who won't. Reaction, do you like this going forward for March Madness?
So I think this is a big nothing burger. I really do. And this year, at least in the Mountain West for football and basketball, these have been required. They've been required, I think, 3 days out before games, you have to list an initial report. And then the day of the game, you have to list another one. But what teams have done, you don't have to put why or how. Or where in the NFL, it's like someone's questionable with an ankle injury, right?
Well, you can't just say personal.
Right. And you don't have to say anything in NCAA at this point. So for football and basketball, at least in the Mountain West this year, we've had these availability reports. I'll give you the example. Yesterday, the final availability report came out for San Diego State. BJ Davis, Miles Byrd, and LZ Harrington were all listed as questionable. All 3 of them played, had 0-minute restrictions. So I think that teams, A, have an easy way around this. List everybody as questionable. You don't have to say why or how. And B, the punishments on there are if the guy doesn't end up playing, you can have like a $30,000 fine set against you. And that's for the NCAA tournament this year. List everybody as questionable. Then you have no problem just getting away with it.
That's what they're going to do. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. With all the corruption that has happened in the NBA, in college basketball, college sports, there's been massive gambling probes because of small schools, people not paying attention. The guys are getting paid now.
Fresno State's entire team got kicked off last year.
Right.
Basically.
I mean, imagine betting, whether you're a bettor, whether you're against gambling, it's a part of sports now. There's scrolls, there's whole shows. We do a segment every day at 12:45 where we talk about gambling. It's a part of the sport. And when you have casual fans who maybe don't tune into a lot of the college basketball regular season, but are putting their brackets together, betting on games, and then all of a sudden a star player is out for personal reasons, I like that they're doing this. I think they should make them be specific. I heard this when guys weren't getting paid, so the whole privacy concerns. I'm sorry, Darren Peterson and Cameron Boozer and AJ Devonsta are millionaires. I mean, up and down the roster, not even top guys in the NBA draft are making a ton of money. You should be able to have to disclose on an injury report who's playing and who isn't to help stop some of the corruption going on with gambling.
Yeah, and just saying who's in, and there's 3 designations you could do. It's healthy, questionable, or out. And if your out is wrong, you get fined. If they're not listed as questionable and they don't play, you get fined. So the way to do it, list everybody as questionable. They play anyways, you're fine. And you don't get fined.
I wish they would crack down even harder on it.
The only way to make this crack down a little harder is to make it like the NFL, where there's an injury designation and you have to list what the injury is, which I don't know that they'll ever do that with college kids, at least not now. Until they're designated as professionals, which is coming very, very soon, and have contracts, this isn't going to happen. And until another thing I've been calling for, some sort of other side, right? So you have the NCAA, they go unquestioned. You need to have a players association.
You need a body that sanctions that regulates all the contracts and holds players to contracts in NCAA basketball.
There needs to be a collective bargaining agreement between the NCAA and some entity made up of representatives for the players. Otherwise, all this stuff is going to continue to happen. All right, quick break here. On the other side, let's get into the Padres. They're starting 5, they're starting 6, what it's going to be to start the year. We'll get you an update here on the other side at San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John Schaefer is going to take over. Then tomorrow night, the Brian Dutcher Coaches Show returns. John Schaefer and the head coach of the Aztecs are going to preview Friday night senior game versus UNLV and more. The Brian Dutcher Coaches Show tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Dutch is also great about answering all the questions you have. You can text the show with Dutch, 70470. Start your message with the word team. That's coming up tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. So all these feelings everyone has about the Aztecs today that Sammy and I have been sifting through on the text line, feel free to direct them right at the coach. Coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Sammy, somehow your Chiefs fans have infiltrated the YouTube
Yes, they
channel.
have.
Our buddy Fridge Watcher saying, Sammy, we making moves. Chris Jones is going to restructure, opening up $22.5 million of cap space.
Yep. Jawan Taylor officially cut today after them talking about it last week. Fridge Watcher knows. Listen, you can clown the Chiefs today. I'm telling you, this team is going to look completely different in a month and a half.
I would like to clown the Chiefs today. By the way, text us 70470. Start your message with the word team. If you have a sleeper golf course in San Diego that I probably haven't played yet, I got a group of guys coming in about a month that I'm making tee times for now. And I want something I haven't played before. So I played a lot of them, but if you got one that's a hidden gem, let me know. And by the way, Boomers in Claremont no longer exist, turned into a Mazda dealership. So whoever sent that one in,
Rest in peace.
RIP to Boomers, man. Boomers is fun.
Boomers was the spot.
You
we
had
were
any,
like 15.
awkward first dates at a mini golf course or something? I'm telling you, you never know. Am I supposed to let her win? Or am I supposed to like assert the fact
you
that
want a girl that's competitive?
It's mini golf.
This whole letting people win stuff.
That's what's rude in this country, right, Sammy?
My grandpa had the greatest line of all time because he'd always beat us in board games. And my parents, and people would get mad at him and be like, "Oh, why are you beating up on kids?" He goes, "If you're old enough to play, you're old enough to lose." Lived my life by that mindset.
Yeah, I still to this day don't think my brother, who literally holds the junior college record in California for most threes made in a single game, or me have ever beat my dad in a game of horse.
Exactly, because why would he let you win? Then you hold that. He gets to hold that over you your whole life.
This son of a gun, his mid-range game is unreal, dude. From 15 feet,
up.
15 feet in, Steve can't miss. His name's not even Steve. He can't miss from 15 feet in, and so he'll just make sure he's the first one shooting in a game of horse, and he won't miss for 30 shots.
I mean, it is a low bar though, because we did see you and Rifkin play. So
no, that's fair for me. But my brother is actually like a nails lights out shooter. That's what he made his whole entire career on. Had a full ride scholarship in college to go shoot threes and be the Kyle Korver of a college basketball team. That was his game. And I don't think he's ever beat my dad either. It is San Diego Sports 760. Me and Sammy got you till 2 o'clock. Coach Quintero is coming up in about 5 minutes. I did want to squeeze this in though. So the Padres start of the season, they actually have a lot of rest. And they have a lot of days off, which is a huge benefit for this team who's hoping that a lot of guys are going to be healthy by the time the season rolls around. The question is, do you still go with a 6-man rotation?
yes,
So I think so too, Sammy. I really do. And while Nick Pivetta should be fresh and coming into this year healthy, and you hope that he's the ace that he was at times for you last year, Michael King coming off a season riddled with injury. Joe Musgrove didn't pitch at all last year. You got question marks with everybody else. Randy Vasquez, Walker Buehler, whoever it may be in the last spots in your rotation, they're all question marks. So for the weakest part of this Padres team this year, which I do believe is the starting rotation, why not make it open tryouts the first month of the season, first month and a half of the season, when there is a lot of rest? I don't care if guys are only pitching once every 10 days. Why not see who the best possible starting five is? And you have open tryouts during the first part of the season to do that.
Well, and even if for the Padres to get to where they want to go, those three have to be elite. Nick Pivetta has to have the exact same season he had last year. Michael King has to get back to what we saw 2 years ago from him.
He was the ace. He got the opening day start last year.
He was fantastic. And last year, kind of up and down, marred by a lot of injuries. And then with Joe Musgrove has to be brought along slowly. If Joe Musgrove is out here throwing bulk innings by the time we get to June and they're already over the count where they want him to be, that's a massive problem, because Joe Musgrove is kind of the sneaky ace card the Padres have, is they could slowly ramp him up and then kind of deploy him in the postseason. If they're all three healthy, that's a pretty dangerous rotation going into the postseason, but it's a big if, because as we know, starting pitchers get hurt all the time. And to Randy Vasquez's credit, is Randy Vasquez a postseason pitcher? No, but he did.
Not yet.
Yeah, he gives up too much contact, too many runners on, but he did have the Padres eat a lot of games through the summer last year, and he can get you to where you need to go. You need Buehler. You need Vasquez, some of these guys, Herman Marquez, to be eating up some innings for you in the middle of the summer. And Craig Stammen cannot fall in love with his great bullpen. If he starts going to the bullpen early, like Mike Schilt did last year when they had this unbelievable bullpen, and all of a sudden, if guys went 5 innings, it was like a parade was being thrown, starters, because every night the bullpen was being taxed. That's a bad sign for the Padres going forward.
What's probably a bad sign, and I just kind of did this in my head while Sammy was talking, was if you were to power rank the Padres pitchers you trusted the most in terms of starters, Randy Vasquez might be my number 2.
Behind Pivetta or King?
Behind Pivetta. Of trusting the most heading into this year. Because we don't know what King's going to be coming off of injury. We don't know what Musgrove is going to be coming off of another injury and a full year of not pitching. If you watch Joe Musgrove today, he didn't look that great against a great
my only
team.
concern with Nick Pivetta, and I hope I'm wrong, everyone seems to have forgotten about the report that the Padres were shopping him right before they re-signed Michael King, ended up signing Canning and Buehler and all these guys. Is it just because they don't think he's going to be here next year, or is it because
been trying to sell high?
Right. Did you get the best version of Nick Pivetta and they know that, so they're trying to flip him for something now, but realizing the lack of depth on the starting rotation, you need him to be Nick Pivetta this year.
Let's get into it a little more with Coach Quintera talking Padres on the other side at San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport sponsored by Fiesta de Reyes in Old Town San Diego. Aztecs lose a tough one last night by 9 at the hands of Boise State. They'll be back on Friday night taking on UNLV live from Viejas. In massive news out of the NFL today, Stephon Diggs cut released after 1 year with the New England Patriots in a big blockbuster deal between the Chiefs and the Rams. Chiefs sent all-pro corner Trent McDuffie to the Rams for 4 picks in this year's draft, or 3 picks in this year's draft and 1 in next year's draft. Shopping, dining, entertainment, Old Town's Fiesta de Reyes has it all. The perfect place to find unique gifts and handicrafts. Listen to live music every day and dine at one of 2 restaurants, Barra Barra Saloon or Casa de Reyes. While you're at it, where the fiesta lasts forever, visit fiestadereyes.com.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John Schaefer will take over then. Got the Padres going on my secondary screen here in studio, and it's kind of fascinating Great Britain is trying to save all their pitchers for the World Baseball Classic. So it's Padres facing Padres from the pitching mound, which is just kind of a funny look for them. But it is San Diego Sports 760. And we bring him on every week. He's the legend. He's the GOAT. Coach Quintera joining us here on San Diego Sports 760. Coach, did you get to catch any of Joe Musgrove's start here today against Great Britain?
I certainly did. I was looking forward to it, and it's something to build on. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. He got taken out there in the first inning after only retiring one batter and one run in, and the bases loaded. And then they brought him back in the second inning. Looked much better, and then got a couple of outs in the third inning, and then they took him out. But when you look at his total line, 2 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, a walk, 3 strikeouts, a wild pitch, a pitch time violation. They were hoping he'd throw 55 pitches. They ended up letting him go for 60. Ball strike ratio was not good, 36 to 60. But you know what? Something to build on. And, I think Joe will probably assess it saying, hey, I felt good out there. The fastball was good. In fact, he was throwing harder today than he did in 2024. But I think everybody, and I know I kept saying it all the time, he was never right in 2024, but he was hitting 95 consistently today. And the one thing that it got sharper as he went on, but something that he's going to probably, deal with anytime you come back from Tommy John, and that's command. The command of the breaking ball isn't where he'd like it right now. And I know he was working on some things. His mechanics working towards the plate, not spinning off towards first base, looked a little bit better. And I've been watching him throw some bullpens on tape that I've looked at. People had sent me from Arizona, and definitely doing a better job of working to the plate. He always had especially on the slider, a tendency to spin off that slider towards first base. And today it looked like he really had a good direction to home plate. So that's good. We'll see how he feels tomorrow and the next day.
Coach, with the WBC getting going here, and Bogarts, Tatis, and Machado all heading for as hitters, who does that benefit the most? Will this benefit any of them? Does it take away in your estimation? Can guys get on a heater in the WBC and it carry into the season? How do you kind of view the tournament itself?
Well, I think those guys are going to be fine. I'm a little bit more concerned about the guys that are trying to make this ball club right now. What's the status of Ty France and Miguel Andujar? I think Castellanos, even though he hit 150 right now, he had a good day yesterday. I'm not really worried about Castellanos. He's still got a few good years left, I think. Last year he hit 17 home runs. Yeah, hitter-friendly ballpark, but I think he's going to be fine. But I think the final roster spot's going to be very, very interesting now that they signed Alex Verdugo, who, by the way, has been working out down there in the minor leagues. I was watching him take a little batting practice today, and I don't know if he's going to be ready by opening day. If he is, that may move somebody else down to the minor leagues, or maybe a veteran that would get released. Now we got to remember when you got all this log jam at first base, it seems like we have one right now. Some of those veteran guys, any of those veterans that aren't going to make the team, they may ask for their release. So you got to really be careful on who you're keeping. I think one of the battles nobody's really talking about is, if you keep Sung Moon Song on the big league roster, and I think that's in question right now. Who's going to be the guy that's going to play shortstop? Because whenever you have a utility guy, he's got to be able to play shortstop. And unless you want to roll the dice, and if Bogarts went down, you throw Cronenworth over there to the remainder of the game, and then the next day you bring up Mason McCoy. But normally, when you keep a utility guy, he can play the middle infield, and so that's going to be interesting as well.
I don't know. They got a pretty good shortstop out in the outfield right now. A couple of them, actually. Jackson Merrill's a pretty good shortstop, too. Maybe this is a year where some changes happen. Coach Quintera joining us here on San Diego Sports 760. We can all hope, right, to see Fernando back making plays at short. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But, Coach, what do you think about 4, 5, and potentially 6 in the rotation? Maybe Randy Vasquez has earned it based off of what he did last year, and people are excited about him this year. But where do you like 4, 5, and 6 in the Padres rotation?
Well, let's start with Joe right now at number 3. What he did today was, he got out there, and like I said, we'll see how he feels tomorrow, the next day. I don't know if he'll be built up enough in time for, that first series against Detroit. I really don't know. So there, you got to look. And Vasquez, I think, has earned it. He's pitching today, actually. I think when we came on, I think he'd already pitched an inning in the third and was doing a good job today. And he's a much better pitcher than he was 2 years ago when the Padres brought him in. He made great strides last year, and I would expect him to continue to get better with more experience and a little more velocity and challenging hitters maybe a little bit more. I don't really know what to make out of Walker Buehler. We're going to see him tomorrow. We'll see, how he's coming along. German Marquez didn't look good in his first spring outing. The first inning, second inning, he looked much better. Marco Gonzalez, the left-hander who missed all last year with flexor tendon surgery, he's not looked good. His command hadn't been good. And, I think that I'm not sure he'll be around when the cut-down day comes. The other guy that we're not going to see until maybe late April, May, maybe even June, depending on how that Achilles heals, Griffin Canning. But Canning's been throwing the ball well in bullpens. The problem with him, they don't really want him to field or cover first base right now coming off of that Achilles. So they're going to tread very lightly with Griffin Canning. But the other guy that's pitched well, and I don't think he's really in the mix right now for a spot in the rotation. He was last year, but he isn't this year. But he's pitched very well in spring, and he pitched very well out of the bullpen last year. It was Kyle Hart, that left-hander they brought in from the KBO. He's pitched really well this spring.
Coach, when you look at the WBC, how do you stack the American lineup? Do you think the U.S. should be the favorites to win this thing, or should Japan repeat?
Well, here's the way I look at it, Sammy. I think the United States, this team they've got is unbelievable. I watched their exhibition game yesterday against the Giants. And granted, the Giants didn't have a lot of their big boys in the lineup, but they got bludgeoned. They ended up playing 10 innings yesterday, and it was 15-1, and they had 19 hits. They got a lot of, they unbelievable. And then you take a look at who they're playing in their bracket. You take a look at who their starters are going to be. Tarek Skubal is going to pitch one game, and you got Skeens. Logan Webb's going to throw the first game, and then the young kid from the Mets, McLean, will round it out. But, can you imagine going against – well, we're going to see that with the Padres on opening day. We'll probably get Tarek Skubal, followed by maybe Framber Valdez, followed by maybe Justin Verlander for that Padre first series. But coming out of the gate, having to hit against Logan Webb, Skubal, Skeens, and McLean, wow, those teams are going to be in trouble. But, I think the United States, people are saying they're favored. Don't rule out the Dominican. Don't rule out Venezuela. And I'll be honest with you, Japan is so consistent. I think until you can show you can beat Japan. Now, we know that Otani's not going to pitch, but that Japan ball club, they may not have the power that some of the other teams have, but don't shut your toolbox on those guys. They play good, sound, fundamental baseball. They stay within themselves. Their pitchers normally throw a lot of strikes. They allow that defense to work. And the United States should, I think, win it, but we'll wait and see.
Coach Quintera joining us today here on San Diego Sports 760. Coach, when you look at the success that the Padres had in the regular season last year on their way to the postseason, it probably doesn't happen without Gavin Sheets. Now, you have to almost expect that Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill will put up numbers of some sort if the Padres are to get to the postseason here. But who is going to be that guy? Who's going to be the Gavin Sheets this year where the Padres maybe got to the postseason because of him?
Well, I think you got to look out in left field with Ramon Laureano. He had 24 home runs, but he didn't hit all those home runs with the Padres. Imagine, if he could hit all 24 with the Padres this year, that's going to give you a big boost. Think about our outfield last year. On opening day, we had Jason Hayward followed by Brandon Lockridge out there in left field. Tremendous upgrade. This roster, I don't care who ends up making it out of camp, this roster will be better than last year's opening day roster. And I'm going to tell you this, they're going to be stronger behind the plate as far as offensively. For me, it's a good defensive catcher who can hit. Campusano's gotten better behind the plate. Hopefully he's going to get an opportunity. He'll swing the bat. So offensively, you're going to get more out of your catching core this year. Definitely get more out of your left fielders for 162 games. You hope Jackson Merrill can stay healthy. He was down 3 different times last year. He had the hamstring, and then he slid in head first, got a concussion. Then he had an ankle injury. Fernando stayed healthy. The infield guys, they were healthy for the most part. I think having Sheets move to first base, that's going to give you more power than Arise did, even though I was a big Luis Arise fan, and I wish him the best up there in San Francisco. So offensively, this team's going to be better. Plus, you throw Castellanos in there as the designated hitter and figure out what you're doing with Andujar and Ty France. I mean, this team has a chance to be pretty good. I don't think they're good enough to win the division, but they're definitely good enough to get to the playoffs. And remember, you only got to beat out 9 teams, and there's some bad teams out there. There's some teams that don't even want to win.
Coach, I know you and I are massive Laker fans. How are you feeling about this 3-game win streak? Do you think this is the product of them playing teams below 500? Or do you think they've kind of found something that clicked?
Well, they've been great against those teams below 500 all year long. I think the Lakers, they have a tendency to play to the level of their competition. They got Denver tomorrow night. They're in Denver, and Denver, it's not the team they were maybe 3 years ago, but they're still a very, very good team when you got the Joker and, all the guys they've got in that backcourt. So it'll be a good test tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to that. Was very upset with the Lakers last week, Sammy. I mean, they blew a couple of games Coach. They should have won, but they're on a nice 3-game win streak. They made that game last night a little bit closer in the fourth quarter than it should be. But I like the way they're playing. They're doing a lot of good things. And again, I think when they play the bigger name teams, they seem to play a little bit more cohesive right from the opening tap. Sometimes they wait till the last 6 minutes in the fourth quarter to really start turning it on.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Just 22 days away. I think I have that right. 22 days away from opening day. It's going to be a lot of fun with the Padres this year. We'll keep checking in with you as it gets closer.
And I'm glad you didn't bring up Aztec basketball.
Yeah, it's been a tough. I literally lost sleep over it last night, Coach. I'm not sure what we watched last night, but it wasn't a team I was familiar with.
Well, it's nothing Brian Dutcher enjoyed watching last night, I can tell you that.
No, definitely not. We'll check in next week, Coach. Thanks for your time.
All right, gentlemen, keep it rolling.
Coach Quintera, one of the best, doing it here in San Diego. I love getting to chat with him on a week in, week out basis. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We will close this thing out. Coming up next, plus get you a little final thoughts here on that Aztecs game from last night. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for the Valley View Casino and Hotel, the spectacular Valley View Casino and Hotel. They got so much going on in the month of March, whether it's Friday the 13th, they got Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall. The Cash is King event coming up on my birthday this month, March 27th. So much going on. You got to get out there. You got to sign up for the Players Club. But I do want to talk to you about my favorite burger in San Diego, and it's at Paddy's and Pints. It's called the Boston Burger. It's fantastic. It's incredible. It has fried onions on it. It has excellent beef on it, and you got to check it out at the Valley View Casino and Hotel. And while you're there, sign up for the Players Club because you're going to get $10 off your meal at Paddy's and Pints. Again, my favorite burger across the land here in San Diego is at this casino and hotel. But when you sign up for the Players Club card, you get entrance into all these big cash giveaways like Dave's $250,000 weekend windfall or the Cash is King event coming up on the 27th. But you also get $10 off at Paddy's and the Pints, $20 off at the Black and Blue Steakhouse, $10 of more play, $10 of match play. And when you upgrade your card from red card to blue card status, you're going to get 2 free Maine Lobster buffets when you upgrade your card. That's over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino and hotel. Signing up is always quick, easy, and free. And the more you use your Players Club card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you're going to earn, like complimentary dining, free hotel stays, luxury gifts, and invitations to exclusive events. So don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel today. Join the Ultimate Players Club today to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. San Diego Sports 760 for a final time today. It's Ben Fletcher and Sammy along with you. John Schaefer is coming up next. Am I allowed to give out a little Fletch shots here at the end of the show today, Sammy?
Only if they hit.
Is that acceptable? Well, it's just a one pick. It's just one.
So it's just a Fletch pick.
It's just
because if you're gonna say shots on the end, you have to have a 3C.
It's just a Fletch shot, and it's a long shot. It is like in the literal sense of the form, not in a form of what Sammy's saying. And why don't you pull up long shots so we could reset that for anybody who missed it? But my one little pick, I put $10 on it just now, and I like it a lot. Well, Xander Schauffele to win the API, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, which gets going tomorrow out of Bay Hill Club in Florida. Xander's never won this tournament before. He stacked up 10 PGA Tour wins over his career. He's starting to play a little bit better. If you haven't noticed the trend on Xander, he's starting to really hem in the iron.
What's he going off at?
I think 25 plus 2,500.
I like that.
A little 25 extra money. 10 to win 250.
I'm a big Xander Schauffele fan, so I'm with that.
Look, I'm probably Scotty wins this thing, but if you want to do a little sprinkle on the API, get you something interesting to watch the next couple of days, Xander Schauffele plus 2,500. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a sprinkle. You have to know, for all of us bettors out there, you have to know what your average bet is.
Yeah, this is, I would go half a unit.
Right, half a unit for doubling units. Maybe you're quadrupling units on things like the Masters, NBA Finals, Super Bowls, things like that. Gambling lingo, Fletch.
So, well, yeah, I get it. And this is a big tournament for golfers. Like they have this one in very high regard. And that's why you see all the big names. Scotty's out there this week. Rory's out there this week. Xander, all the big names are going to be playing this week at the API. So I like Xander for a little bit of a sprinkle.
Okay. I like it.
This one's important to these guys. Xander, the history of golf's important to him. This is a big one for someone to win. He hasn't won it yet in his career. Sammy, you want to reset long shots real quick before we get out of here?
We got a three-leg NBA parlay.
By the way, the text line loves this one. Multiple numbers saying this is my favorite long shots in a long time.
I like this one as well. So Clippers, night game, taking on Indiana. Ivica Zubac not playing in that one. The former Clipper, but the former Pacer, Benedict Mathurin, I think is going to go off against his former team, covering the spread, 12.5. The Pacers with no Halliburton have been a disaster this year. So give me the Clippers minus 12.5. I like Oklahoma City minus 4.5 in the Garden, taking on the Knicks. I get the Knicks have been playing with a lot of positive momentum recently, beating up on the Raptors, beating up on Houston, and some of the talented teams they've been playing. I think Oklahoma City in the return of Shea tonight gets after them. And then I like the Hornets, the Charlotte Hornets, to go into TD Garden in Boston, cover the spread plus 6.5. Quietly, Hornets playing some of the best basketball in the NBA. I think they get a signature win tonight, and let's might as well take the points at plus 6.5.
Couple of road teams and a home team. We'll see if it works. I'd love to be rich coming in tomorrow, and I will be if Sammy's long shots win. All right, that's about it for us today. John Schaefer is coming up next. Thank you to everybody who participated. Fun show on the text line with the sleeper golf course picks.
Yeah, we have so many texts rolling. We love all of you.
The Chiefs talk was fun because we all think that the Chiefs are just selling their souls.
Look at all our Chiefs fans on the text line. It was beautiful to see.
God, I hate the Chiefs.
The kingdom runs deep.
All right, we're out of here for today. Schaefer's coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow at San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.